Are you getting married in 2024? What's your net worth? Hi everyone, welcome to the 300k AMA. In this video, I'll be answering a few questions you asked in the community post and on Instagram. Let's get right into it. So what's your investment portfolio? It's around 40% in cryptocurrencies, 30% real estate, around 20% in cash and FDs, 5% in Indian equities, 2% in US equities, and maybe 3% in gold. Don't think this is the right way to invest. Generally, the perfect way to invest is put money in Indian equities and US equities, but you generally believe in assets that, have made you money in the past or, you're connected with personally, which is the philosophy that I follow. Might not be the best one, only time will tell, but at a high level has worked out pretty well for me. Are you getting married in 2024? What tells you I'm not already married? I'm kidding. I'm not married and I don't plan to get married anytime soon. I think it's a longer term commitment, takes a really long time to find the right person. And whenever that happens. I'm not putting a number on it or a leash on it. And if it does not happen, that's fine as well. I'm always open to adopting dogs, which is something that might happen in 2024. Why should someone buy your course versus someone else's? Good question. I'm not saying my course is the best. Frankly, mine is a little more aggressive when it comes to, the final outcomes. It's a very binary outcome. You either get really good at what you do and get like high paying jobs, or you get really good at the burn stack or whatever else I'm teaching. And the other outcome is you just leave. If you're okay with such a binary outcome, then mine is a better option. But if you want to just do hobby coding or, get into the bits of understanding how code works at the high level without going too aggressive and at least have the hope of completing the whole thing with minimal efforts, then I think there are better courses out there. A Udemy course for 500 rupees might be the best option here, where there's a lot of beginner-friendly content, a lot of things to choose. What's your net worth? Generally, the rule of thumb is not to share your net worth with the internet. There's this thing called reaching your FIRE number, which basically means when you can financially retire completely without working at all. I don't think I've reached there yet. And I love Akshat Bhardwaj, who's a finance influencer. His philosophy on this, which is you really have to be prepared for doomsday. And what is doomsday? Doomsday is when the debt bubble bursts and currencies make no sense, specifically the US dollar. It will happen at some point. And when that happens, are you prepared with, number one, the right types of assets, and number two, the right amount of assets, which not necessarily might be, money, FDs, equities, or whatever. It might be something else. This might be completely contrarian opinion. You don't have to believe it. What is the one secret that you've kept from us? I think there are many. I think what you see on the internet is usually much different than someone's personal life. Few of these might be when I code, usually I have really loud Punjabi music playing throughout. Number two, as much as I travel, the one place I love to be is home. Realize the lifestyle that you have to live as you go to different countries, any country other than your home base. It's really hard, and majority chunk of your life, unless you're spending it with your family, life really isn't worth it. So number three, believe it or not, even though my IIT JEE rank was 658, for the first 3-4 days I was in bed in depression. Very dumb thing. At that time, for the next 3-4 days, I did not attend any celebration from my tuition. I did not go to the award ceremony, whatever. After I reached IIT Roorkee and got an interest in computer science, when I got over that trauma, as you grow and time goes by, you realize these things do not matter at all. And thankfully, there's only one path your life can take. The other paths you did not take, so you do not know how things would have worked out. As long as things worked out here, you're fine. Looking at the current job market, how competitive do we have to be? Which stack and how much is enough to land our first job as a web developer with a decent salary? Great question. There's a basic benchmark that you have to be at if you can start to look for jobs. That benchmark does not change. The number of opportunities do change, but the basic benchmark there is just look at this and this cohort curriculum. If you know all of these well, in the end, what are jobs? You are in a company and you're contributing some code to a code base. Whoever is giving you a job, they're expecting you can hit the ground running on day zero. They don't have to teach you things. If you want that, then you have to be at the bare minimum. When it comes to web developer, this is great. And at that point, if you can also write projects, I'm not saying this is probably too much. There's a smaller subset of these technologies that if you learn and are good at, you can get your first decently paying job. Long story short is you have to keep putting your work out there. Normal conventional path is you reach out to a recruiter in a FANG and then based on your DSA skills you get hired. That's one way. The other way is you are putting your work out there. You're aggressively making something every day and tagging me. There's a video that's coming out where I'll share the journey of someone that got placed to the cohort by me. Like literally I was the one who corrected them, and the reason I corrected them was because they were aggressively making tweets on what they've built today, how they've done an assignment, how they've built this XYZ thing, writing blogs, things like these. And so I knew, okay, this is the person I'm going to refer whenever an opportunity comes by. These things have compounding effects. You keep putting your work out, you keep reaching out to people on Twitter, and then eventually, just one opportunity is what you need. So basically you have to be worried about two paths. Path number one, making sure you're at the right skill, Thing number 2, making sure you're putting your work out there for everyone to see, and then at some random days when the connect will happen and your first job sort of you get that. And you'll sort of get your first job. As a fresher, which side should I focus on? Machine learning or web development? That's a good question. One thing you have to keep in mind is machine learning, Web3, WebRTC are all cycles that come and go. At the very core, there are literally 2 things that you need to be good at, which is data structures and algorithms and web development. Irrespective of what cycle is going on, everyone will need web developers or someone who can create backends or frontends. As a fresher target, I want to go deep into cryptography for Web3 or I want to go deep into machine learning and AI. Unless you're going for a master's, if that is the case, then sure. But if you're in India trying to get that first offer, then usually the thing you can do along with web development is try to get some extra edge when it comes to WebRTC or Web3 or AI or whatever current cycle is going on. Build some projects, contribute to some repository or a company that is a machine learning company but has a full stack part. My actionable advice here would be to pick one basic thing to begin with first. If your growth there is stopping out, I know web development completely now, then yes, feel free to pick a niche, and generally if you want a job, pick the niche that's currently in hype, which at the current moment is probably Web3 or AI. Do you anticipate any sudden changes in technology trends, especially Web3, software development, AI, machine learning, with the onset of 2024? Any big change doesn't happen immediately. GPT, the thing that you've been seeing, has been, an effort of a few years that suddenly, boom, changed things. There might be something that's already happening. For example, decentralized money is one such thing that is happening. If you're generally very bullish on one technology, kal ko to coding will happen via AI only, and every software developer will be using AI. Find a company that's doing that, start your own company in that niche. But if you're not currently sure which one of these hype cycles you'll be able to catch on to, whatever is happening slowly. For example, software developers are becoming more and more productive thanks to AI. That's one thing that's happening. The need of software developers may go down. The bare minimum benchmark that you need to have might be much more than that of an AI. But other than that, it's all slow growth. Nothing happens immediately. People were saying software development would be dead, hasn't been yet. And GPT is pretty mainstream now. High level, no big trends that I'm seeing. I'm seeing a bull on the rise when it comes to Web3. Could totally be a fad, God knows right now. But if it starts, if you see all-time highs getting reached, then there'll be a lot of products, some scammy and some good ones being made in the Web3 space. So if you want to prepare for that, I think the next 3 months is the right time to focus on it. But again, make an informed decision. I cannot predict which specific technology is going to be big in 2024. Now that you've started to learn machine learning, what's the approach that you're taking to learn it? Languages, frameworks, etc. How do you balance theory and implementation, considering machine learning has a lot of theory? Great question. So this comes from a lot of ML/AI founders that I met when I was in SF recently. The first question I asked them was, who do you hire? How do you hire? What are you looking for? Are you looking for a degree in machine learning? His plain answer was, we look for really good engineers, generally people who've done stuff in the past. AI is something we can teach, you can learn on the go. We don't need researchers. I think we can hire them on a consulting basis if need be. So in machine learning, the path that I found right now is, if you go one layer above GPT, the application layer where people are building a lot of products, what do the founders there need? And here the answer, at least the one that I've arrived at right now, is a lot of frameworks that are coming up. A lot of old frameworks like TensorFlow, NumPy, Pandas. Those were the conventional frameworks. Now there are some new frameworks on top of GPT APIs like LangChain, AutoGPT. A lot of companies are just using them or creating similar versions of their own. If you understand how that is happening, and that's just nothing but some code on top of GPT APIs. If you understand that, that's what these companies need. The other good reason to follow this approach, there are immediate use cases that I can build. For example, I'm building a bot inside the cohort where you can talk to a video, ask questions if you're specifically stuck somewhere, ask a doubt, things like these. So when you see immediate gratification of building something that is being used, it's easier to learn versus you're building something that no one's using. Because of that reason, I'm learning very practically, not theoretically, and I'm trying to build as many products as I can that people will use. That way I have some idea of how things are being built the right way, the kind of production issues that you might hit when users start to use your application, and how you fix them. Okay, just a few personal questions. Let's go one by one. Are you a night owl? Mostly yes. When I'm in India specifically, yes, because I have to talk to a lot of people in the US. Do you work out? I try my best to. 2024 resolution to do something with my body, but haven't been able to catch up much to it for the past 6 months. What's your daily routine like right now? It's the same as the one present in this video, which is waking up around 2, working until some 4-5 hour slot, and then taking a break, doing some YouTube stuff. Then 9 onwards, usually interacting with the team, sleeping around 1-2ish. Just go through this video. It covers what I do when I'm in India working remotely. Are you in a relationship? No. How do you manage so many things? There's this general framework that is present in this video of mine where I say how to study faster. Once you get bored / your brain stops working, start doing filmmaking. Once you reach a creative block there, go for a workout, things like these. If you have disjoint sets of interests, you can context switch between them very well. Versus if I only had, interests in doing algorithmic programming and development, it will be very hard for me to context switch between them. If you have an extra hobby that's disjoint with your original work, you will be more productive in both the places. You have a slip disc problem, then how do you manage back pain now, sitting for long hours? Thankfully, I had a decent surgery. It wasn't the best initially. For the first 4 months I was still in pain, but eventually things have subsided. Unless I am playing basketball or doing something really aggressive, my back is fine on those days, and I can now thankfully sit for long hours. I haven't really felt that kind of pain in years now. How is your physical and mental schedule with so many things, and how do you have work-life balance? I don't have the work-life balance I would have hoped for. Specifically, one thing is missing, which is taking out half an hour to an hour a day for fitness. It's not like I don't have an hour in a day, but your brain is occupied so bad between 2-3 things, and you just cannot stand up and do an aggressive activity. Also, whenever I work out, I sleep really bad after that for like 10 hours sometimes. So haven't been able to get out the time. Can't say I have the best work-life balance. That said, this is something I want to change in 2024, and I think I'm at a point in my life now, I'm almost 27 now. I should start to take care of my health. If I don't now, I think it's just going to go downhill from here. How much role did IIT play in your career? Would you have reached the same point if you weren't from an IIT? The way I like to answer this is I have a lot of friends from IIT that are not doing the same things I'm doing. I have a lot of people not from IIT who are much more successful than me. My best friends are actually from tier 3 college, Maharaja Agrasen University, somewhere in Delhi. Your circle ends up mattering. Initially my circle was of course IIT people, and thankfully I had a few good seniors there. You can find those seniors in tier 2 colleges as well. If not there, you can find them on YouTube. Now it's just been, wherever I see high growth, I tend to keep those people as friends. Try to find the right people, which does end up mattering. And it's easy to access those people in IITs, but thankfully today you have YouTube, you have a lot of motivated people in tier 2, tier 3 colleges, probably more motivated than IITs. So try to find that small group there. That will matter. College does not matter. If you started your journey again, what would have you done differently when you started to learn to code? So the one advice that I kept on getting from my seniors, a bunch of people, was it's easy for you to get a campus placement now that you're in college through DSA. Do something better, but I did not follow that. Through my last semester for the first 6 months, I was doing lead code aggressively just to get that job, get a day zero campus offer in IITs. Eventually, I realized a lot of people who are from tier 2 colleges, tier 3 colleges are getting remote jobs, are doing so well. I was basically stuck in a rat race. In my IIT, in my campus, I want to get the best offer, which back then was like 30 LP. Today probably is like 50 LP in IIT, but you can make much more. There are good examples out there of people from tier 2, tier 3 colleges making like much more, starting things off. So one advice I would give to myself when I started off would be build more projects, be more aggressive when it comes to GSOC, things like these. Polish up your English a little bit, start interacting with people outside. That's where the money is, and you will easily crack whatever 30 LP that you're getting in Goldman, you'll easily get that in a remote startup, provided you're keeping your head down, have decent communication skills, have built a decent skill set when it comes to one technology, be it web development, be it Web3, and just approach them rather than getting stuck in this rat race. Alright guys, that's the end of it. Thank you for the journey to 300k. We started this channel almost a year ago, and it's been a decent growth. I would like to continue that. So whatever you think provides you value, let me know in the comments, and we'll try to aggressively post more videos on that. I'll do the next one of these at 500k, where I'll answer whether or not I'm getting married. With that, let's end it. I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye bye.